air I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night, and joy be with you all. Oh, all the comrades that e'er I've had are sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that e'er I've had would wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I
picture you see is it's Sunday, May 17th, 2020, and welcome to Unity Center of Pittsburgh. Our singers are Lucy Clabby and Shane McLaughlin, starting us off with a song that we can sing every day, Thank You for This Day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit, thank you for my wealth. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit, thank you for my wealth. My opulent, my opulent, my opulent wealth. My opulent, my opulent, my opulent wealth. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Unity began over 100 years ago, and it's a spiritual movement that focuses on positive and practical applications of faith, that the kingdom of God is within, that God reveals God through us and as us. A wonderful, wonderful movement that we believe wholeheartedly in. We have a vision and a mission. Our vision is that we envision a spiritually awakened world flowing with divine love. Our mission is that we are an inclusive, loving community dedicated to teach, inspire, and practice positive spiritual living. In spirit, we're so grateful that we can be together. And even though we might be apart physically, we believe that that kingdom within is just enlightening us and bringing us together through thoughts, prayers, and songs in a special way. And may we be open even now for a certain word, an expression, or something that catches us, that teaches us, enlightens us, and invigorates us. And so it is. Our next song by Lucy and Shane is Peace is Flowing Like a River.
Thank you. Peace is flowing like a river, flowing out of you and me, flowing out into the desert, setting all the captives free. Joy is flowing like a river, flowing out from you and me, flowing out into the desert, setting all the captives free. Love is flowing like a river, flowing out from you and me, flowing out into the desert, setting all the captives free. Hope is flowing like a river, flowing out of you and me, flowing out into the desert, setting all the captives free. Thank you.
An important custom that we have is the lighting of the Christ candle. And by Christ candle, we mean a Christ consciousness that we all have. God is generous. We don't have to earn it, work our way into this Christ consciousness. We have been given it, and we celebrate it. Our unity principles, which are so important to the expression of our faith. God is the source and creator of all. There is no other enduring power. God is good and present everywhere. We are spiritual beings created in God's image. The Spirit of God lives within each person. Therefore, all people are inherently good. We create our life experiences through our way of thinking. Through prayer and meditation, we increase our conscious contact with God, bringing forth love, wisdom, health, prosperity, and everything good. Knowledge of these spiritual principles is not enough. We must live them. We have an affirmation that we are going to say 3 times. My eyes can see the beautiful potential within and all around me. My eyes can see the beautiful potential within and all around me. My eyes can see the beautiful potential within and all around me. And our next song, and those of us who are a little older, remember when it came out. Imagine.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Oh, imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Ooh. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one.
Our daily word reading is let go, let God. And such an important concept. I let go and trust the divine in me. It's real easier to trust the divine in someone else, but in me, yes, for each one of us. When faced with a decision to make, do my thoughts turn immediately to divine guidance? Or do I seek God's help only when all else fails? Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore wrote that God loves to be used. And the more you use God, the more easily you use God, and the more pleasant God's help becomes. God lives in me and expresses through me. All of the attributes of God are as near as my next thought. That deserves another reading. All of the attributes of God are as near as my next thought. I release my attachment to limited human reasoning. I center my mind and my heart on the constant flow of divine love, wisdom, understanding, and strength. In the divine flow, I find answers to questions. New possibilities for good emerge. I move forward with confidence. And from Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 29 in the Old Testament, from there you will seek the Lord your God, and you'll find him if you search after him with all your heart and soul. We bless the children in our lives right now. I know for myself, I think of a number of the children, and we miss seeing them, their smiles, their joy, and sometimes their running around with that freedom. We bless them, and we think of other children in our lives and those we read about and hear who are some very difficult circumstances they're under. We lift them up and bless them and pray for divine possibilities and families, parents and friends for them. And so it is. A way that we can greet one another now is on the page to say hello and comments. That's always, and just to imagine a few hugs and just smiles and laughs as you greet one another. Our next song, Feel So Near by Dougie McLean.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning. This is a song that is new to me, but was recently passed down to me by some family. I'm very glad to have inherited it, so enjoy it. You find me sitting at the table, my friend Finn and my friend John. My friend Maryann, he tells us stories of things long gone, long gone. But we may take a glass together. The memory makes it all so clear. Fires our dulled imaginations, and I feel so near, so near. I feel so near to the howling of the wind. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. The old man looks out to the islands. He says this place is endless thin. There's no real distance here to mention. We might all fall in, all fall in. No distance to the spirits of the living. No distance to the spirits of the dead. And as he turned, his eyes were shining, and he proudly said, I feel so near to the howling of the winds. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. justify our great destructions. As on we climb, now the journey doesn't seem to matter. The destination's faded out, gathering all along the headlands. The children shout, children shout. I feel so near to the howling of the winds. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. I feel so near. Thanks, Aunt Eileen, for showing me that song.
Thank you, Lucy and Shane. And Lucy sang with such passion, children shout. Well, let the adults shout too once in a while with that same joy. This is our time for prayer. And you have that ability not only to say hello or put little faces on there, but put some prayer requests if you feel open to it. That way, you know that people will be praying with you or making affirmations with you at the same time. And hopefully we can see some affirmations, something where from faith that you believe. You want to encourage and lift up people. But if you need support, take a moment right now. And in a few moments, Lucy and Shane will be playing, singing, When I Pray.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
Every feeling is a prayer. May we understand the Spirit and take responsibility that every thought and feeling is a prayer felt by you, and you respond to our energy. May we express it in love, encouragement, faith, and hope. So it is.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
Let's relax our bodies. If you like the picture of the waterfall, focus on that. Relax muscles in the neck. flowing down through your torso, legs, and feet. Take some deep breaths. Imagine yourself even now. Imagine being able to look at you and inside you. All your thoughts, intentions, feelings, actions. And realize that only Spirit, only God knows all these things that you have thought and felt and done. Realize and feel that presence around you and within you that sees and experiences all those thoughts and feelings. If there is any timidity, let go. If there's any fear, let go. Realize that no matter where you have been, what you have done and thought, Spirit within is love. Realize that the Spirit within doesn't love theoretically or outside, but loves you as you. Feel that. Look inside at the good in you. See the good in you that God is telling you. The love, the hope, the encouragement, the acceptance, the forgiveness. Celebrate and smile with God all the good in you. Even now, see yourself in that water and let that waterfall flow on you of all of God's love and acceptance beyond what you could think or dare to imagine. There's no limits. See no limits. Take the limits away. That God is bigger and greater than you could imagine. And God is bigger and greater than you could imagine in you and as you. And for just a few moments right now, celebrate that. And let's take some deep breaths. Enjoy the feeling. Enjoy God in you and as you. And so it is. And I'm grateful to be able to introduce Maryann Hackworth, who is, I know every day, takes very seriously her responsibility as a spiritual person to hear, to allow God to speak to her, and to take seriously the lessons that she learns and put them, which I appreciate so much in practical ways. So Maryann, thank you.
Morning to everyone. It's so good to be here with you this morning on this beautiful spring day. I just want to take care of a little housekeeping before I start. We've been practicing keeping things very clean and safe. We continue to do that here at Unity. And I'm sure you're doing that in your own practices at home and wherever you're traveling to nowadays. We send you a lot of love and affirmations for your health and your wholeness, for all of us, for safety. So yes, today's message is entitled, Eternal Love Has No Conditions. And I was thinking about this past week or two, in fact, the past few months, how grateful I am to have spiritual awareness. As we're coming through this unprecedented time, these different times that we're living through, have you felt that as well? Are you not moved by gratitude for knowing your spiritual identity, for understanding that you're a spiritual being? And that is what's been uplifting you and I and carrying us through times that are definitely different than what we've experienced in the past. I found myself being so grateful for Unity and the teachings of Unity. And also, I just find myself often, I'm sure you too, is contemplating God, just contemplating the vastness of God. As we watch the news or listen to social media, we notice that there is a lot of opinions out there. Everyone has opinion. And sometimes laden upon opinion comes judgments, criticisms, sometimes blame, sometimes guilt, sometimes trying to point fingers and shame. So many different variations that come out of opinion that I found myself moving into what Rumi described as the field. He said, out beyond ideas of right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. And so I started to ask, what is the field that he's speaking of? The vastness of God is the field. By whatever name we give it, whether it is divine mind, universal mind, creator, spirit, source, the presence, father, mother, or God. By whatever name you give this field, I want you to contemplate with me today. The most important truth of all is that this God places no conditions upon us. And these opinions and ideas that we as human beings, as personalities that we come up with, do not exist in this vastness that we call God. For God has not placed any condition upon us. I was reading some of the description of what God is in the Unity publication called The Quest. It's like a handbook to me. And they were saying things like, God, as you know, is omnipresent. So God is everywhere, and we affirm this every single day. Every time we come here on a Sunday, we affirm the one power and the one presence, omniscient, all-knowing. There was a practice years ago that I read that if we went through a week and everything we saw and looked at, if we just say one thing, God. So we see a tree, and we say, God. And we see another human being and we say, God. And we pick up a pencil or an object and we look at it and we say, God. Because God is ever present. God is in all things. God is moving through us into expression, into form, and God delights in that creative process. So God has never placed any condition upon us. And that can be difficult for us as human beings because we're so used to placing a condition upon things. You see, unconditional love is what God is. God is a cosmic force, and that cosmic force is an energy of unconditional love. The unconditional nature of this cosmic force is the only way that I can understand the magnitude of God. For think about it. If God placed a condition upon itself, since God is all of us and all things in this physical world, why would God place any condition upon itself? God came into this earthly plane, created the solar system, created all the planets, created matter to take the form of life. And it placed no condition on it. It wanted simply to create more of itself in this world, in this experience that is you and that is me. And so in this world of form, there's something we call duality. And duality is merely contrasts. So we get to exist in form and look at the myriad of contrasts that exist around us. And for each contrast, we come to a choice point because we get to decide. We get to choose. We have free will to decide what choice we want to make, in which direction do we want to create. When I looked up unconditional love, just getting a definition, there's a woman by the name of Teal Swan, a young woman, and she had this definition of unconditional love. She said, unconditional love means being completely in alignment with source perspective. Unconditional love means being completely in alignment with source perspective, with the perspective of God. And that's the question that I asked myself this week as I was preparing. Can I imagine that something has a love for me that is so deep and so eternal that it places no conditions upon me? And secondly, can I imagine myself becoming capable of sharing this same unconditional love that is in me, that source has for me? Can I maintain that perspective when I gaze out upon the world? And that is our spiritual practice, isn't it? That's what we're doing right now in this world. For if we don't maintain that perspective, we can easily fall back into a place of judgment, criticism, worry, doubt, because we as humans tend to laden language upon our choices or our choice points. We tend to add words to things. And God is deeper than that. God is behind that and stands in back of that and stands in back of all of us and uplifts us because God maintains the perfection of what we are as itself. God holds that perspective of us no matter what choice we make through free will. Unconditional love is not an enabling love, and it is not a submissive love. There's a difference between maintaining this perspective of unconditional love and not enabling another by actions that I take. So I wanted to tell you a story some years ago, and whether you can see the unconditional love of this action. We have friends, still do, that were going through a very challenging time. And what happened was their son had become involved with drugs, and they had gone through all sorts of means to assist him, family intervention and counseling and rehabilitation. And they had tried and tried to get him on the right path and to show him unconditional love and how strongly their love was for him. And he wasn't living at home with them anymore. And they were at work one day, and a neighbor was out cutting grass down the street, and at their home, a van pulled up, and somebody got out of the van, a gentleman got out and went into the back of the house, and the neighbor kind of watched from the distance, didn't really know their son, didn't know this person. And he starts to watch them carry out, VCR at the time, camcorder, television set, stereo system, speakers, putting it in the van, and he's thinking, there's something going on here. So he called the police. And as it turns out, it was their son, and he had come to their home, his parents' home, to steal things so he could sell it and pay for drugs. So he was arrested, and they were at a choice point, and they were filled with despair. Just thinking of what they went through at that time and how we supported them and loved them. And of course, their first thought was, we can't put our son in jail. And they had a really heart-to-heart talk with one of the officers. It was one of the detectives, I guess, a sergeant, came to talk with them. And after much despair, they chose to proceed and press charges. And their son was incarcerated. And there was just so much rage in him. And then, of course, begging and pleading, and they remained steadfast. And so he went through this process of incarceration and then went through all of the steps to get out of prison and going through his own healing. And he became clean through that, and he remains clean. And he looks at them now and he said to them, had you not made that choice for me and about me, I probably would be dead by now. And so I was thinking about this when it comes to unconditional love. I feel at times unconditional love manifests in a way that we can't possibly imagine. Unconditional love is when we allow another to be responsible for their own unconditional love. We allow someone to discover their own spirituality, and sometimes it comes forth in great suffering. Jesus had a teaching about unconditional love, and it's so powerful. He said to his followers, I am in the Father, and you are in me, and I am in you, all one. We know he was speaking of consciousness and connection to the greater power of unconditional love when he said, as I say about myself now, I am in the Father, the state of consciousness of knowing myself as the Father. You are in me, and I am in you. And so as I look out into the world, sometimes I see individuals who are making choices that I would not choose. And it would be easy to fall into a practice of criticism and anger and judgment. And we move back into this teaching, this profound teaching of Jesus when he said, looking at the world around us, I am in the Father, you are in me, I am in you. That doesn't negate us from allowing individuals to express and discover their own oneness. I was thinking also about the Our Father, which was a prayer that was offered to us by Jesus many, many, many years ago. He has the one segment that he said, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So I was thinking about this unconditional love, because in a way, isn't forgiveness really a misnomer? Is it really necessary for the Father to forgive that which it doesn't place conditions upon? What is there really to forgive? We, as I grew up, had a practice that we would go and confess our sinful ways or our errors. And while it is good practice for us to make amends and to right our path and to align ourselves if we have drifted off and had hurt someone knowingly or unknowingly, certainly it is good practice to make amends and to express love. But when you think about it, what does really the meaning in that statement, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, is in actuality an example of that cause and effect relationship of creation. For the more times that I am able to maintain an unconditional love of life, the more likely that life is going to flow back into my experience as unconditional love. There is a reciprocal nature to that statement, and that reciprocal nature is that we, first and foremost, begin by demonstrating the love that exists within us, that is unconditional. That's a deep knowing. It's, as we said here earlier this morning, it is the good news. The authors of The Quest said that as creations of God, we are whole and complete, and therefore nothing has to be added to us, only released from us. Love must be released from us. True love is expressed not to be reciprocated, but to make us be completely alive. That's God. That's what we truly are. This power of unconditional love wants to be alive through us, desires expression through us. And Rumi had a statement that he said, why do we stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Why would we limit ourselves by condemnation and judgment and blame and criticism and making ourselves small and encapsulated, really, with this human tendency to be in opposition to what is? As Eckhart said, true freedom is when we are in alignment with what is, and that is unconditional love. When we are in alignment with what is, we accept the life that is existing for us right now. We're in the flow of that life that's existing in us right now. Rather than opposing it and pressing against it, we're in alignment with it. And from that alignment comes more flow of this unconditional love in that power and presence of God. That's where our insights and our inspirations are coming from. That's where our discoveries are coming from, scientifically, medically, and spiritually. That's where the awakening is happening for us right now. So this source is maintaining the ongoing perspective of our perfection. I'm going to say that one more time. This source is maintaining its ongoing perspective of our perfection. And we here and now commit ourselves to looking out into the world and maintaining an ongoing perspective of our perfection. I see that perfection for you. I see that perfection for me. I see that perfection for this entire planet, for all of humanity. And that, my dear friends, my good friends, is unconditional love. And I hold it for you. And I wish you a wonderful week and blessings always. So it is.
And Maryann, thank you not only for your message, but I love those Rumi quotes. Why do we stay in prison when freedom is always available to us? We limit God. God is so much bigger and more generous than we could ever realize. And now it's an opportunity for us to be generous, to give in faith. You know, on our website, we have at the bottom right an opportunity to give. And I've been driving and shopping and delivering Instacart 6 days a week. And I'm so grateful to be able to increase my offering because of that. And it's so important now because even though it's an expression of my faith, it's also an expression of, we do have continual expenses here. And so we ask for a spirit of generosity. And in that spirit, let's say together our prosperity practice prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful. Now, I'm going to just change the order here because I want to hold off on this little light of mine because it has announcements, and I'd hate to do announcements after this little light of mine to take away all that wonderful momentum and feeling. So in a minute or so, we'll go into this little light of mine, followed by the peace song and our final prayer of protection. But Vince Lisi will be speaking next week from Youngstown, Ohio. And in the website, there are renewal forms. You can either do the old-fashioned way, have it printed out PDF and send it to us, or do it online, because we need to renew our memberships, even if we've been members for eons, or to be able to become new members. So please take the time to do that. It's so, so important. This little light of mine, Jesus said about himself, I am the light of the world. But he also said, you are the light of the world. Now, let that light so shine that they might see your good works and glorify the Father in heaven.
Light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, this little light of yours, you're gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of yours, you're gonna let it shine. Light of yours, you're gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let Thanks, everybody. Happy Sunday. Right. Ready? Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Thank you.
Thanks to Lucy and Shane and Maryann, Hackworth, and Mac Innes behind the scenes doing all sorts of technical juggling. May the light of God surround us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. See you next week.